The horse of death. Little Luna must stay in bed because he was mistless, but the sun is shining, and it is a beautiful day. From his bedroom window, he can see the toy shop across the road, and he stands at the window, looking out and thinking, there are so many toys in that shop window, big and small, in all colors. But the most wonderful toy is a horse, a big black horse with a long tail and lights in its eyes. More than anything in the world, Unal wants to ride that horse. The Horse of Death, retold by Jennifer Bassett. Little Unal was ill. He has the measles and so he has in bed. But he was bored. What can I do? He thought. The doctor say I can go out, but the sun is shining and it is a beautiful day. That morning, when his mother left the house, she said to Unal's grandmother, the sun is shining, but it is very cold. Be careful with Unal, mother. We don't want him to catch cold. For his window, Unal could look out at the street, and when his grandmother came into his room, Unal was at the window wearing only his pajamas. What did your mother tell you? Said his grandmother. And what did the doctor say? Do you want to catch cold and die like your grandfather? Come now, go back to bed. Grandma, what beautiful weather. And I'm not ill. I haven't got a fever. No, thanks God. You haven't got a fever, but it is easy to catch a cold. And then those red spots on your face are going to go inside you. Good, say Unal. No, it's not good. Those red spots can kill you, so you must be careful. Come now, get back in bed. Unal got back into bed, and his grandmother went back into the kitchen. Unal's father was dead. His dead He died before Unal was born. Now his grandfather has was dead too. So Unal had nobody to call father. His mother worked as a cleaning woman in the government office in the town. It was not a good job, and the family didn't have much money. During that day, Unal was sometimes in bed and sometimes at the window. When his grandmother came into the room, Unal go back into the bed. When she left, he ran back to the window. Across the street there was a toy shop, and Unal watched it from his window. Today was New Year Day, and there were bright lights in the toy shop window. What wonderful toys there were! Animals and cars, big and small, in all colors. But the most wonderful thing was a black horse. Oh, Unal wanted that horse so much. When you pulled the rein, there were lights on the horse's eyes. It had a long tail and a beautiful brown mane. Unal took at the window, watching, thinking, imagining. Now I am riding that black horse, he said to himself. I not ill. There is nothing wrong with me. Of course there isn't. When I'm riding the black horse, I don't get cold. I am not ill, and there are not red spots on my face. When he heard his grandmother at the door, and he ran back to bed. When his grandmother came in, she said, that's a good boy, Unal. Stay in bed, and you can have something nice for dinner tonight. Now I have still got a lot of work to do in the kitchen. Remember, don't get out of bed. She went out and closed the door. It was now dark, and all the lights of the shop window shone brightly across the street. Unal got up and dressed. When left his room quickly, he couldn't find his shoe, but he found some old shoes of his grandmother and put those on. He ran out into the street and across the toy shop. There were a lot of women in the shop with their children. Every boy toys for their children on New Year Day. Unal didn't have any toys, but he didn't want them. He wanted that black horse. He wanted to ride it just one time. The shopkeeper was busy. Everybody was busy. Nobody looked at the small 8 years old boy. Unal went in and walked around the shop, looking at things. Then he didn't hide behind some big box and waited. Sometimes later all the lights went out and the shopkeeper closed the door and went away. The street light outside shone into the shop. Unal went to the shop window and slowly opened the big glass door. Then he got into the window and climbed on to the back of the black horse. He pulled the reins, then looked at the horse's head. Yes, there were lights, bright shiny lights, in the horse's eyes. Unal began to ride. I can see snow on the ground all around me, he said to himself. I can see clouds in the sky above and silvery light from the moon. Everything is so bright, so cold. I feel I am swimming in the sea, but the water is as cold as ice. He and the horse rode on. Then Unal began to feel warm again. Far away there was a light. The color of Unal's blond hair. The horse rode on toward the yellow light. It was the sun. Now Unal began to burn. His hair, his hands, everything was on fire. The black horse too burned like fire. Then everything changed again. Unal felt strange, empty. First he was in deep water. Then he was in the sky. He was not hot or cold. He did not feel anything. He and his horse began to go faster and faster. When Unal's grandmother next went to his room, Unal wasn't there. His grandmother was very afraid. She looked for him in the house, in the street, and she asked everybody where is Unal. But nobody knew. Other families in the street came to help, and people ran in and out of the house all night. Then, when when morning arrived, a man came to the woman in front of Unal's house. Look, he said, look there, in the window of the toy shop. Everybody ran to look. They saw a small boy on the back of the black horse with a smile on his face. But he was dead, cold and dead. They broke to the shop window and tried to take Unal off the horse, but they could not move him. Unal belonged to the black horse now. He could not stop riding. They took him home, still on the horse. His grandmother looked at the child's blue face. Oh, Unal, she said, what did the doctor tell you? This red spot can kill people when they catch cold. Then a woman from the next house spoke. When someone wants to ride the black horse of death, nobody can stop him. They buried Unal and the black horse together in the cold ground.